lower up, and we have some other things which are not that interesting to us at the moment. We will see what we can do with this later on and how we can utilize it, but you can also have a look at statistics, as the man pages have said. It's IP-S link, and now we have some interesting things here. Basically, you can see the amount of errors, the packets dropped, etc. So that can be quite useful. Let's see if we have anything else to cover in this introductory video. So we're still doing an introduction to networking. We're not going to just jump into it. Yes, we also have routes. So that can be quite that is one of those. This is a dumb way of putting it, but it's one of those popular commands, most used, I guess, in accordance with statistics. Not most used, but certainly up there somewhere. Route, IP route show. And you can see it says default via 192.168.11, and then it says dev for device, and then we have the network interface name. There you go. It says scope. Okay, basically, so all the connections are routed here, and this is the default gateway. This is basically my home router, towards which the connections are routed so they can go on to the internet. This can be changed, of course. You can add different routes and have a lot of fun with it. So here it says SRC, which is the source IP address, 192.168.1.102. This is the IP address of this particular computer. So the one that I am using, the one that has been assigned to the interface. You can go ahead and see that this is true by typing in IP addr show emp0s3. So you see, you can also specify the name of a particular interface. Here you do not have to list everything for every single interface. So you can go ahead and clearly see that this is indeed the source IP address, that this is the interface that we are using at the moment. Keep in mind that all of these commands are like any other in Unix Linux-like systems. You can pipe them, you can redirect, input, output, whatever. So if I type in grep inet, and I am going to go ahead and put this into quotes because I want to grep the space as well. And there you go. I have the IP address and the subnet mask prefix there. But if I go ahead and do this, you see, without the quotation marks, I will get both of them because I didn't envelop the space part. By space part, I mean I'm referring to this part here. You see, there's a space, and here it's 6 and then space. If I grep the space as well, it will only print this particular line out. Anyway, I hope that I have at least introduced you to networking in Linux to a fairly good extent, but I didn't want to burden this particular introductory tutorial with too much info. I just want to explain to you the basics of IP command, what you can do with it. Basically, you can IP is not only used to show stats, it can also be used to adjust stats, like give an IP address, assign a route, or something of a kind. This we will do in the follow-up tutorials, where I will explain these things in far more detail. But for the time being, one of the primary objectives is that you do not use ifconfig anymore. Maybe some of you who are taking this tutorial are using ifconfig, and I mean, in all honesty, as I've said, even I do use it till this day on today. I do use both IP and ifconfig, but it's a good idea, and I strongly advise you to switch into IP, as that is the current standard and that is the future standard as well for a good while now. Anyway, I bid you all farewell, and I wish you a tonload of luck. Welcome all to this tutorial. Today I will talk a bit about Network Manager tools, and persistent network configuration. First things first, let's go ahead and see how a non-persistent network configuration looks like. How would you perform it, and what do I mean by non-persistent? Well, first things first, non-persistent simply means that it will not survive a system-wide reboot, and it will not survive the interface restart. So if you bring the interface down and up, the configuration will be gone. One such example would be just to add a different IP address. If I type in IP addr show, I will see that it has an IP address of 192.168.1.102, and that is the IP address which I would like to change. So go ahead and type in IP addr, and the help menu here is a bit different from the ones that you've seen before. You do not require any hyphens, rather instead you just type in help, and there you have it. So here we can take a look at the help bar, and what I'm interested in the most is the syntax of the command. So IP addr, and then it says in the first line add, change, replace. At the moment I would like to add, and well, then I need to type in the interface address that I would like to add, so 10.10.10.10. I'm just giving a random interface address here without much meaning, but doesn't really matter. I can now go ahead and type in dev, and the dev will be enp 30s if I'm 3s0 if I'm not mistaken. Just go ahead and see, is it enp 0s3? Okay, so my bad here. 0s3. That's it. Operation not permitted. Why? Well, we are a regular user, we're not root, so let's go ahead and relog as root, no big deal there. Oops. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and copy paste this command. So let's put it here. And now we can type in IP addr show. Now you can see that there is an additional IP address listed here. Notice that we did not delete the previous one. We did not use the change command, rather instead we have added a new IP address which is also assigned to this interface. Interfaces can have as many IP addresses as you like. It's I'm sure that there is a limit up there somewhere, but generally you can assign multiple IPs to a single interface. That is not a big deal. If you just take a look at the IP addr help, you have some other options here, such as to save it or to flush it. Well, sorry, no, this is not what I'm supposed to be looking at. You have a command to add it, to change it, or to replace it. For example, you have this one here to delete it, so interface address and then the dev. Let's go ahead and delete the one that we've just entered, so IP addr del, and it's enp0s3. What is next? We need to type, oops, sorry, this is 10.10.10.10, and then we need to type in device, so dev enp0s3, press enter. Warning, executing wildcard deletion to stay compatible with old scripts. Yeah, this is a warning, not an error, so hopefully all worked out. addr show. Excellent, the old one has indeed been deleted. It is gone, while we have the new one that remains. Well, we didn't delete the new one, we didn't delete the old one, we deleted the new one, but you get the idea. I mean, you would just change the IP address here that you would like to delete and type it in. No big deal, really. You can type in any IP address that you want that is needed for the deletion, and that is all that you need to do there. No big deal. Anyway, that would be a typical example of, well, basic configuration which is non-persistent, and it's not very reliable. I mean, you would usually use this kind of configuration to test something out, not to actually implement it. Let me just show you what I mean by it. So if I type in IP addr add, and if we type in IP, oh, this is not what I need. Actually, maybe. Okay. Well, there's a simpler way to do this. So it's nm